We're here in Montpelier, Vermont, December 24th, 2004, looking at the first roundabout on a state route in Vermont. This was built about 3 years ago. A key reason why roundabouts are an important tool for sustainable transportation is that it keeps traffic flowing, though it does slow it down. This is important for reducing crashes and especially severity of crashes. There have been instances in the United States and elsewhere where roundabouts have reduced or even eliminated fatalities and severe crashes. In most cases, just about all cases, they reduce overall crashes, severe crashes, and fatalities. One main reason is that there is a slowing, and that the crashes that do happen tend to be fender benders at slight angles, not the T-bones or head-ons that happen at stop signs and traffic signals. Working on a yield approach, yield at entry, vehicles pull up to the roundabout, and they don't have to come to a complete stop. They find a gap, enter the circle, they have the right of way in the circle and exit where they need to go. Because everything is slower and smoother, it's easier to make decisions and thus easier to get through the intersection. This is important for air quality, especially in mountainous areas where pollution can be trapped by inversions. A lot of pollution is caused by stopping and starting of motor vehicles, especially when there's a whole platoon of vehicles that need to stop for a red light, even though there just might be one car on a side street. This takes care of that problem and lets vehicles enter when there's a real gap, not when a traffic signal tries to determine when there's a gap. Trucks can make it through roundabouts. They have to be designed for. They just yield like any other vehicle. There is something called the truck apron. We'll zoom in here. And that's the curb. The first curb you see is part of the truck apron. A tractor trailer wheel can track up onto that. They don't track onto the next curb, which is surrounding the inner circle. And you can see that the truck apron keeps vehicles in the outside circulating lane. And that is called deflection. That's what causes the motor vehicles, the cars especially, to have to slow down, but still go through the roundabout. Yet the truck apron allows the larger vehicles to get through. This can keep the roundabout to a small overall size, like you see here. This is about a 90-foot diameter from curb to curb, sidewalk to sidewalk, that is. And that's important to keep these small so pedestrians don't have to go far out of their way, motor vehicle speeds remain low, and that we can actually start retrofitting signalized intersections all over the United States with a modern roundabout. Some people do confuse roundabouts with rotaries. Rotaries are found in Massachusetts and New Jersey primarily. The main difference is a rotary would be even 5 times this size, and that when cars enter, they are able to keep up this high speed. So say this car right here was entering a rotary, they would not be really slowing down right here. They would be keeping up a higher speed and just banking into the turn and proceeding onward and that causes confusion when you have higher speeds and ultimately crashes. So it's this angle of entry right here that it's almost like a right turn, but a gradual right turn that keeps the roundabout functioning well, keeps the crashes very low. The stats are when roundabouts have replaced signals and some stop signs, overall crashes down 37%, injury crashes down about 79%, fatalities down about 90%. Congestion goes down 65%. These are US DOT stats and the Insurance Institute of America. You can see the yellow blinking light that indicates there's a school up ahead, and actually there's Main Street School about a half block straight ahead. School's not in session today, but I've talked to some people who say this works really well with the school kids. There's no problems whatsoever. The problem with traffic signals is often when people see a green light, they speed up, or a yellow and they speed up. Red, they're running the red light more often than not. And when cars take right turns on red or take a left on a green, a lot of times you can't see pedestrians. Your view is up with signals. With a roundabout, your view is more on the ground. The slower speeds are very key to a roundabout working well. Bicyclists do not have a problem with single lane roundabouts. A bicycle just takes the lane just as a motor vehicle, and because these speeds are slow, the bike goes right on around. A new design feature is to put in a little slip that allows a cyclist, if they so choose, to ramp up onto the sidewalk, preferably dismounting and walking around as a pedestrian would. The less experienced cyclists use this ramp, the more experienced cyclists can go right on into the roundabout. Fairly large truck. This looks to be about a WB50. Sounds like the wheel might have brushed the curb. This is a huge issue in sustainable transportation. How do we move traffic? How do we keep it safe? Keep air pollution low? Keep neighborhoods connected? Keep our cities livable? Yet allow the large vehicles to make it through intersections. It could easily be argued that the very large 67 to actually 80-foot long trucks don't belong in the cities. At least they don't belong on every road, every street within the cities. Determining truck routes, appropriate truck routes, is very important as a part of an overall transportation plan for an area. In the very long term, we might be moving more towards the larger trucks, stopping at depots around a city and unloading the smaller vehicles more appropriate to do urban deliveries. Especially if these smaller vehicles run on cleaner fuels, such as electric or hydrogen or biodiesel. There's even vehicles running on compressed air that are being manufactured. But street design is a big part of the overall mix. And intersections where roads cross need more attention. Just red light running alone causes 200 fatalities a year. Excuse me, 2,000 fatalities a year. No, 600 fatalities a year and 200,000 injuries. Throughout history, intersections have been more of a meeting place. The piazzas, the plazas, the crossroads, where conversation, spontaneous meetings take place. We've sort of lost that notion, and maybe a roundabout as one tool can help bring back a better sense of place for our intersections. We're looking right at the landscaped inner circle. That can be a part of it. To not just have a wide swath of asphalt, only for motor vehicles, but to put some green space. Right in the street. This triangular raised part of the roundabout is called the splitter island. It forces vehicles to go around counterclockwise. This is one difference between a modern roundabout and the traffic circles one might see in neighborhoods. But this splitter island also has another function, and that's to provide a pedestrian refuge for pedestrians crossing the street. You only have about a 12-foot crossing, and then you have a refuge, and then another 12-foot crossing. The pedestrian has the right-of-way in a roundabout. The legal right-of-way. But a pedestrian can also proceed to cross when they are sure that the car is stopped for them. So there won't be another car on the other side zooming past, or someone taking a right turn on a red or coming from a different direction. One can be sure that they can have a safe crossing. There great strides have been made in the area of getting blind pedestrians through roundabouts, wheelchairs, and others that need a little extra help with their mobility. There's audio devices that can detect gaps. There's even signalized roundabouts, a hybrid system. Those work really well. Overall, the modern roundabout needs to be in the toolbox for achieving a much better transportation system, for flow, for safety, for livability, for overall health. You see the pedestrians, they're crossing, and they're moving off to the side, right back onto the sidewalk. Pretty easy. It's a permeability, it's a resilience that allow pedestrians, bicycles, and motor vehicles to flow. I was told by one of the people in the city here that helped build this roundabout that they would rather have had more gradual curbs on these splitter islands and perhaps even the part of the apron or landscaped inner circle, just so that when a vehicle does bump up against the curb, it's not as abrupt. It's a little more subtle. These are details that are still getting worked out in the best overall practices of the design of modern roundabouts. It's an exciting field. Signage is another thing that's being worked out. The beauty of a roundabout is you really don't need much signage. It's a self-explaining system. But as Americans, we're still getting used to these, adding in the confusion of the rotaries that some of us are used to, and there is a learning curve. But it's an easily achieved learning. And something I would say, and my organization, Missoula Institute for Sustainable Transportation, we would say it's a very necessary learning curve. There's 42,000 traffic fatalities a year in the United States. Air pollution is a major issue, and the use of fossil fuels is becoming a critical challenge. So we need to look towards alternative solutions. Alternatives to driving, alternatives to structures that are part of the driving infrastructure. And we all need to slow down, take things a little slower. Speed is a big factor in crashes and pollution. But we can turn that road rage into a more commuter courtesy, a more civil roadway. Roads are public space. We have many more acres and miles of road within cities than we do public parks. It's important that we remember every citizen when we're using roads, building roads, designing them. There's a little skid right there. But it was fine because speeds were low. Ice can be an issue, but it's also an issue with stop signs and signals. Just about any challenge with a modern roundabout becomes a magnified challenge with a traffic signal. If someone blows through a roundabout recklessly, it's likely a person who's going to blow through a traffic signal recklessly. With the roundabout, the consequences, the crash is much less severe more often. Or it means going into the landscaped inner circle instead of going into another vehicle. Even with the video camera, I feel comfortable just walking straight ahead, knowing there are cars all around me. It's very simple. Although I'm walking a little slow, I should pick up the pace. Sorry about that, buddy. All in the name of research. It's a bit noisy down here. Stop and go creates a lot of noise. Be a lot more noise if this was stop signs like it used to be, or signals. Okay, going across again. No problem. Okay. Give a little wave. Thanks. Yep. There's a study that showed that 17 miles an hour is the maximum speed at which two bodies could pass each other and still recognize each other's face and even get in a hello. Sort of a social speed limit. And the last crossing. Thank you. No problem. And we complete our circuit around this three-legged roundabout here in Montpelier. Simple yield sign. Excuse me.
Yeah?
Do you walk through this roundabout often?
Yeah, why?
I'm just wondering what you think about it. I'm studying and working on
It's annoying. I find it rather annoying.
As a pedestrian?
Yes. Was
there stop signs here before?
I don't remember, but it was a lot easier to get through because it was a real pain to have to wait for cars. And
now you have to wait for cars?
Yeah, I just think they should remove it. I think it was a waste of taxpayer money.
Pedestrians do have the right-of-way here. Do some cars not respect that?
No, a lot of them don't.
Kind of blow through that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for your input.
Also, on some of the crosswalks, some of the folks don't know what a crosswalk is too, so...
there needs to be a little education going on there.
Yeah, well, because even though I don't know how to drive, but another thing is when people ride bikes on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know, I admit sometimes I do it, but that's because I'm usually trying to make a turn. But people think they can ride bikes on the sidewalk, and they actually have to ride in the road and obey the same traffic laws.
Yeah, we need to, as long as the road stays safe, we can do that.
Well, of course, the two most abused privileges in this country is driving and gun ownership.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas to you too.
Happy Kwanzaa too.
Yeah, we'll get this traffic thing straightened out. Thanks. Well, it's annoying. I think traffic can be annoying. There's no magic bullet right now for making traffic perfectly harmonious. It is a give and take. So this pedestrian was annoyed. Part of it was the driving culture does need to slow down, become more aware, and really respect and even prioritize those on foot. We do not have a right to drive. I would argue that we do have a right to walk, a right to exist and move about our communities. And this ends the filming of the Montpelier Roundabout, December 24th, 2004. Now it's on to home and decorate a tree. Over and out. An oversized load coming in. truck stuck down there at the stop sign. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you walk through this roundabout often?
Do I walk through it occasionally? Enough so yeah.
Because I'm working on transportation in Montana and visiting my family here. Do you find it's okay, or is it a problem, or?
Yeah, you probably don't. I think it's a pain here. It's not needed.
Yeah.
But they certainly are. They're very good in different areas.
Right.
But here, I don't think. It was more like a trial type thing. I mean, I've lived here all my life. We didn't need a roundabout.
There was stop signs before?
Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
They never had any problems. I think this was more of an experiment than for the community.
Yeah.
So they did it.
Yeah.
But,
okay, well thanks.
You're welcome.
So there's that gentleman. And that's what I was told also by Public Works, is that it wasn't quite needed here. That it was more of a solution looking for a problem. Although, as traffic increases, being proactive can be helpful. Okay, we're going to drive the roundabout now. Wait for a gap. Hello, officer. Got a gap. On and around. Take this exit, no pedestrians. On our way home.